and it's so fragile. And
Yep.
funnily enough, I literally had this exact conversation with my little cousin. He always calls me now and he always like asks me things about finance because he's always trying to, learn more. He's on six figures, right? He's 24 years old and he still feels like, wow, where can I go? What can I do? I'm trying to save. I've saved like 50K at 24 years old, which is very good. He's done well. But then property prices has gone up 100K that year. So it's like, what do I do? Right. And so that's why it's really important to really have a hard asset because, as you said, you've seen those graphs, I'm sure, where as soon as gold stopped being pegged to the US dollar, just the value of everything just exploded, whereas our wages just pretty much stayed the same. And
100%.
it's essentially the same thing in literally every industry. And every industry is finding these crazy extremes, whereas something like property, it's essentially not guaranteed success, but people need to live in these properties. There's not something that needs to get wiped out. And it's something that has an intrinsic value. That's a word that's not really being used as much when people are investing,
Mhm.
something with actual intrinsic value. Like, for example, cryptos, yeah, you're going to make money, right? You're going to make money and even in shares, day trading
I
as
make
well, you're
money
going
in
to make,
Filecoin.
yeah, there you go. There you go, right? But then you see someone like, Donald Trump will announce, I'm going to buy Tesla now, and then everyone's going to start buying Teslas. And then you start, like, you can do all these things, but when you get something into research and you really look into deep into something like property, like something that's really shown and proven to be successful, and something that is not really have something that competes against it, right?
Mhm.
Like, for example, with property, there's nothing else that can beat property. You need a house to live on. Whereas if you've got a business, every business changes. For example, a buyer's agent maybe 10 years ago wasn't as important as it is now, but now a buyer's agent is so critical because there's just so much like competitive information out there that you need to select the right thing. And that same conversation I had with my cousin and saying you did well really saving, but what you need to focus is literally exactly everything what you said. This next 10 years is really critical. A lot of economies around the world are failing and some economies are rising. There's a lot of volatility. And the one thing that isn't volatile is property at the moment,
Yeah.
right? We've